Hello and welcome. I've attempted to make a couple of more videos for this new update that was recently released, although I've been having audio issues with it. So hopefully the music isn't too loud, I can be heard, and there's no more stuttering going on with it. I'm not sure how to fix that if there is, so in this new update, you have now three options, where before it was just beginner and normal. So here's your difficulty. And for needs, I select beginner because if it's on normal, they go through 600 hours worth of food in 1 hour of game time. And that's really all I'd change. So things scale pretty quickly on here. And we'll give it a try. And right off the bat, I can see some clay here. My issue with the previous build, I don't know if it's still a thing with this build, is that with one of the games I had that I was playing on here, it had no clay whatsoever, and clay is a vital resource, especially getting started. I did not get lucky and have a well nearby. Well, it's here, but usually I can get it here, right on the spawn point. But oh well. And in that case, with no clay, you can't build a wheat farm. You can't progress past the vegetable farm. And if you're just relying on salads, you're not going to last very long. Especially with the fact that you need better weapons. I need a workbench. And you can't get past that if you don't have any clay. So at the very least, if that wasn't just a one incident thing with me, they need to make sure that the map always spawns with all the base resources. You know, at the very least clay and stone and of course wood. Always, no matter what difficulty you set, that they always have it, so that way you have a chance at going with it. Or set up some kind of trade function to where scavengers, other settlements will come by occasionally and trade with you, so you can get that resource and you're not totally boned on it. So let's introduce our people. We have Liz, who's an athletic and an addict. Good combat though. Your priorities: building, scientific research. You need to fetch water first. If you have any kind of tips and comments, especially if you have played this game way more than I have, then let me know. A better priority list at the very least, or for anything that I do on here. Leave it in the comments section on the video and I'll see it. And then I'll improve upon it. I'll try it out in the next video and see how it works. But I like to place the fetch water up there because they'll run out of water very quickly and they will not collect it at all. They will die. So I usually, with everyone, I throw fetch water up there. Somewhere around, depending on what specifically is in front. So we have Cruz. He's a bodybuilder. Pretty mediocre. And then we have Michael. He's a brute, a smoker, and he's weak. A weak brute. Yeah, that makes sense. And so, for here, we'll just do some wrong one. Do some wood chopping. Get that out of the way. We'll build up the log cabin. And in the beginning, you just basically, you build these 4 basic buildings. A bed, so they can rest, because they will die without sleep. a food table so they can get to their food and eat, your research bench, and then the workbench so that way you can do the crafting. You now have a base of operations, but you are far from safe. Your supplies won't last forever. If you don't find a food and water source, you won't live long enough to worry about those creatures finding you. Before you can grow your own food, you need to learn how. Build an experiment table and research farming. This is your quest line, your mission. So you click on here and you get the same thing again. And keep in mind that when you go into these menus, time does not stop at all. And this is the map. We'll be getting a rescue mission here before long. Let's just turn that off for now. So I need about, starting out, 18 stone, 40 wood, I believe, in order to get the farm. And that's what I'm waiting on before I do an upgrade. And one of the quest line requires you to build a magic circle, research demon origins, and then go from there. But without clay, you can't build that. So you're really screwed. And for the trees, it takes a while for them to mature to be of any use. But you can at least renew those resources. Where's my clay deposit? Okay, I'll tell them to go ahead and start collecting on that as well. Now, I don't know how to acquire the minerals or the metals before actually getting a mine to do it. So there's research for it, but you don't go so far. Where is it? This one. Yes. For metal extraction, you need 1 metal. I guess maybe an enemy eventually drops it. That much I don't know. Now, one of the things too that would be nice for the difficulty settings at least is to have a tooltip explaining casual, beginner, and normal. Normal's obviously for the normal settings. Then it should actually go into a little bit more detail about it. So at that point, they should explain that, explain what benefits there are for it and such. Beginner is obviously the beginner, the easy level, it's supposed to be for it. So it needs to explain that, explain just how often they go through their food and other such aspects that it pertains to. In casual, I have to assume that that must mean some sort of free build mode, sandbox mode or something, if you will. Okay, let's, yeah, I just need 18 clay. That way I can build 2 farms at once and not have to have them set up at odd times for harvesting, although they still wind up doing that occasionally. Go ahead and get the scraps there. So after a while, once they're done, once you get enough research going for both the science and the occult, you'll want to tell them to stop. Otherwise, they don't get anything done. Speaking of which, I actually need more clay. Okay, I need about 27 clay so I can build those 2 farms and that. But that's not necessary to wait on right this second. So it's vegetable farms. Food source. You figure out how to farm. Use this knowledge and build some farms. They will provide a steady supply of food. Resources are running low. but there are plenty lying around in the area. You can chop trees for wood, quarry for stone and clay, or search debris for scraps. Build 2 vegetable farms. And the reason why I built 2 clubs there is because there's going to be a mission for that. And that way, it'll already read it when it gets to it, have it accomplished. And then there will be a scavenging mission for it. At that point, you can't do that ahead of time, unfortunately. So, you still send them out, you get it done, and then you're good to go. The next mission starts. I believe that's where it starts asking for the demon circle. And at that point, you can shift click to do this, but I forgot. At that point, I've already screwed up. You'll build that, it'll read that as being done, especially if you already have the occult research points in order to do the research into the demons. And so, from then, it jumps, and then it'll require you to have 8 people and at least 100 units of food. And it will be talking about Hellgates. Beyond that, not sure. This is the quest I was talking about with the clubs. Arms. These farms should keep you fed for now, but when your colony grows, you will need to build more farms. Remember, you can't eat raw food. You will need to constantly prepare meals. Keep an eye on your water supply too. Gather water from a nearby well when it starts to run low. Now that you have basic supplies, you should prepare to defend yourselves. Make some weapons. Craft 2 clubs. Done. Scavenging. These clubs should help you defend your base from smaller groups of weaker demons, but in order to survive, you can't just keep your head low. You need to figure out what is going on out there and gather supplies from nearby towns. You might want to make some better weapons before heading out. You already know how to make basic bows. Scavenge a nearby location. This one is one I was talking about. You can't do it beforehand. So the best thing to wait, do it when it comes up, then you can proceed with it. And we'll go ahead and do the demon research. Just slap it down there. And for that assistance mission, we'll go in order to gain extra people. Wait, that's not a good idea. Yeah, that way we have a melee person. You can't... Well, that sucks. I waited too long. So, let's just do this one then. You can't send everybody. Someone has to remain behind. So, you go in small groups. And you have to have food in your inventory before anything can be done. If you have no food, you can't send them out, even if it's to hunt for more food. So you get screwed over pretty quickly. Okay, that's blocked. Okay, let's do this. Have you come down. Oh god, Michael's gonna die. Oh, he survived. Researching the apocalypse. The world has turned to hell. It's only a matter of time before your small base is overwhelmed by hell's minions. You must figure out what went wrong and how to put a stop to this. While exploring, you saw some magic circles. Maybe you can build one and experiment with the occult a bit. Like, that's a good idea. Read some ancient lore. Try to figure out where all these demons are coming from. Build a magic circle and research demon origins. I did that a bit faster than usual, so it's not going to immediately read it since I don't have any research into it, so I can't do the demon origins. So he has to take time in order to heal. Hopefully I won't get attacked. And what we should do is start up the wheat chain. Wrong one. See, with the wheat farm, you need 15 clay. Without that, you can't do anything. So that's why you need clay. What are you doing? Eating. We'll mine some more. And shift clicking will allow you to get up to 20 a piece. So every shift click gets 20, at least for the food. So I would assume that it's the same amount for the rest. So you have to constantly be on top of that. How many is needed for that? 20. That's a better bow. That's why I made so many arrows. It's not ammunition. You just use it for ranged weapons. And enemies are approaching. You get me wood. That bow will take way too long to craft, and so it will not be... Yep. Won't be ready in time. And yes, it is entirely possible for the enemies to spawn right on top of you. So you would have no time to get your people in order. Poor Michael's probably going to die, and you can't take weapons away from them in the middle of combat. So if they die with your in-game weapon or the rarest weapon in the game, whatever that happens to be, it's gone. There is no reclaiming it. Really needs to have an option to be able to loot the dead, or to be able to reclaim them if they die in combat. And obviously you're able to leave it. Or if you go scavenging and you're forced to retreat, you should at least have that option to come back and collect it because it becomes part of the loot. Although at a damaged state or something to where you have to repair it. Or something along those lines. This has a much greater range to it. Which is why I like to craft it. It's just a better weapon. So I like to try and get that as soon as possible. Okay, now I need water. This time it actually notified me. Usually it does not notify you until it's too late. So maybe they've improved on that aspect of it. So once we get some more research up and going, we'll be able to do more. I want to at least get the construction, and then I'll call it quits on the research for a while, so I can get more stuff done. Now, researching the first aid, yes, that sounds like it would be a good idea for healing, but I need enough resources to build another building because this is the max. I need to place another building down, then I have to place the infirmary. And there apparently seems to be a bit of a bug going on that even though I craft two first aid kits, that I actually are able to use 4. I was thinking I had a 4th person, but I forgot. I didn't succeed in rescuing them in time. As you can see, the range is huge compared to that. That's a ranged unit. So at the very least, you want to take that one out first. Michael's going to die. And you get ectoplasm from killing reapers and ghosts. So I have to assume ghosts are also ranged units, although I have not come across them as of yet. Succubuses, I'm pretty sure, are ranged as well. Although, since I haven't actually fought against them, I don't know. Werewolves are melee, and since I'm getting the reapers right now, I'm about to get a werewolf. So there will be at least one werewolf in the next attack. Okay, we'll do the occult, or the demon origins. Your best theory is that the barrier between hell and earth is diminished, and hellspawn are able to make it through. It's not completely gone, or the entire planet would be burning. You learned of portals that the demons use to travel between the realms. They are well defended. You will need to be better prepared before you can investigate one. This colony needs to grow stronger. Recruit some more survivors to join you, and make sure you have ample food supply. Recruit 8 survivors and obtain 100 units of food. Now after this one, I haven't gotten past it yet because usually my colony gets wiped. But after it, I believe that it might be a mission to go scout Hellgate, or possibly to make better weapons or something. I'm not entirely sure. So I'm just going to cancel that for now. And so water conservation isn't yet in it. I'm not sure when they plan on adding that, or if they'll even expand the tree any further than what it is. Maybe they will. It'll make it more interesting. So far I've managed to survive until day 6. And that's when I stopped the recording on the other episodes. Or videos, I should say. Because that's when I decided that was, or rather that was my time limit. And on top of that, I needed to check the video itself to check how it went. So I had to delete those. So I'm pretty much repeating the same thing I've been saying for a while, just because of the audio issues. And here's where the assistance is needed. So Michael won't be going. Because he's too weak right now. Just be a liability overall. And with any luck, we'll be able to accomplish this one. If I can find any of them. And there they are. Okay, so far it's going better than usual. Oop, I need to get up there. And Joey has joined. He is a vegan, an addict, and a smoker. Combat sucks, so you got a bow. What's his priorities? Farm. Okay. Good enough. What is the first thing? Yeah, I'll go ahead and show that off as well. So I got the crafting. I'll craft 2 of them. That's what Cruz is doing. He's making it. And in order to use them, they won't automatically use it, which would be nice if they would. You have to tell them to use it and who to use it on. And then they take time in order to use it. So you come here, you select the consumable, and there you go, equip them. Right, damn it. Say 4 people using only 2 med packs. And you can't use it until actual battle, so I can't test it. What do we have? Yeah, I could use a few more things. So you make 2, most people eat 3. So that's what you gotta watch out for. So far, things are going quite well. There's another needing assistance. This time, it's 2 werewolves, 2 imps, and a minor demon. So we'll give it a try and see what happens. Let's just see how well that turns out. Because now I can send 3 people. I have to have food available. Otherwise I can't send them out. Which really sucks. Especially if you get into the point where it decides that it doesn't want to work properly. So you have no food. You can't grow food or anything of the sort. Okay, let's come down here. You here. You there. You attack. Oh, he's in a really bad spot. Okay, see here? You got heal. Tell him to heal. Tell that one to heal. Okay, they didn't do it. Well, combat's over with anyways. And we have gotten Stan. Hides come from werewolves. So maybe I'll get lucky and I can start making things work. He is a hippie and he is a geek. So he's good for researching purposes. And now it also shows their experience tables from before. It did not do that from the previous build. That it did not tell you how much experience they had and how close they were to leveling up. You just had to wait and see. Or at least not that I noticed. It's possible that it was in there and I was just getting the little bug where it doesn't want to show up. So with that being said, we got a fledgling colony going. And yes, they apparently do get used up. Or do they? Apparently not. That's interesting. But with that being said, I'll call the episode here. Tips and tricks, any useful comments would be greatly appreciated. So comment on the video, leave a like, and if you want, subscribe. That'll help the channel grow and become better. So thank you for your time, and have a good day.